Hi guys, welcome back to another P3D version 5 video. We are today flying not the MD-11 but actually the DC-10 or the MD-10, I guess you could call it, since I have a bit of upgraded cockpit. And this is the Just Flight CLS one. The only upgrade I've added is that I finally decided to fix the PBR, so I removed the old one and just decided to go again with my own PBR, and it did kind of fix the windows not being see-through and just generally looking a bit better. I would say it just looks a bit cleaner. Maybe not perfect, maybe a bit too glossy, but still nicer than without having any PBR. And we are flying the Biman Bangladesh Airlines DC-10, and we are at Dhaka airport, so in Bangladesh. I've never been here myself. The closest I've come is Calcutta airport, but never been in Bangladesh actually. And we are going to be flying from, and let me check FS dispatch because this is the information we have. So we're going to be flying from Dhaka to Osman International Airport, VGSY, which is very close by, which is also in Bangladesh. And they used to fly this back in the summer of 2012, so I thought this would be a nice flight to do. I'm gonna close FS dispatch. It's also the reason why I chose Bangladesh Airlines or Biman Bangladesh Airlines is because they use this this DC-10-30 for like 3 decades or something. So a very long time, and they were very successful actually. I think they were kind of the opposite to what, and now this is just Wikipedia information that I was looking through. I think it was the Fokker F-28s and the British Aerospace ATPs, the turboprops. They were like the complete opposite to the DC-10s, and they were kind of unreliable. Could of course, I'm not sure what the reason for that was, but yeah, I figured it's then good if I'm gonna fly Bangladesh Airlines to use the DC-10, since it seems to have been a favorite and mainly used on international routes, of course. But since I don't always have enough time, it was nice to see that there was a local route that had actually deployed with this aircraft. And let's see if we can get the jetway connected. Let's do the first one, just because I think I can, well, maybe I can open both doors actually, but let's just do the front one. And in terms of actually this airport, I just wanted to mention quickly, because it's very nice. This is a payware one, so it does cost some money, but it's actually very good price. I got it at a sale for like 10 euros, and I think it's very high quality. You know, you can see inside. The only thing that's lacking, apart from that there's a lot of stuff here, is maybe 3D animations, some people walking, etc. But I mean, other than that, it looks just very good. It just looks like it's alive and kicking. Even some of these older aircrafts are here gathering dust, I guess. So yeah, very nice actually. I wish Calcutta had something similar. Now I only have a freeware for that, and I don't think there's any official Calcutta scenery. Yeah, nothing that I can find. So yeah, I can really recommend this. It's the Final Approach Design Simulations Airport. I'm not sure about the freeware one that I have for the destination. So that is unfortunately not, yeah, what's it, Sylhet, not sure how to pronounce that, probably butchering that. But yeah, let's see how that looks once we get there. Never flown into that actually, but I got it in case I wanted to do some more regional ops. But yeah, let's give us a nice viewpoint. Maybe this one is nice for boarding purposes, etc. In terms of the aircraft itself, it was a long time since I flew this, so bear with me if I do something wrong. I just really felt like I wanted to fly it, because I haven't done so in a while. I haven't added any PBR on the inside. I'll probably at some point add. It could really help with the yoke, for example, make it look nicer, and some of these other aspects, like I did with the DC-9 and still doing, right? But yeah, baby steps, baby steps. So, first things first, we need to get the battery on. And I still remember some things with this aircraft, just because I have flown it quite a bit back in the day, and it was my favorite for a while in terms of well, basically it was one of my first payware ones. I have no clue why I even got it. For some reason it looked interesting, and it is a good one. Let's see. We will open the different doors, the cargo, and we open in the front door. Can't see it, but it's open here on the side. It's actually funny with that FS dispatcher. This is actually the exact aircraft that flew those routes. So the sign on the tail, the S2 ACR. So this is exactly the same one. Let me just jump back into the nice viewpoint that we had, a bit to the left. In terms of connecting ground power, I'm not sure that was possible. Let me have a look. Actually, we do have the checklist here for CLS, so we can use that to help us a bit. You see, even someone who's been flying for quite a while can find new utilities and how to use those. So I guess we have kind of an EFB, if you want to call it that. And the question is, of course, is external power. Do we have that? There we go. So now we have external power in use. Let's put the galley on, just so we have that. And we'll wait with doing any of these. Let me see, the battery buses, right? Those we can open, but I think we can wait with the rest. Let me just have a quick look. Flight recorder and voice recorder, I guess we can put those on, doesn't hurt. Cargo door indication tests, we can test that. We can do the annunciator panel test. So there's some things that are working. We have these tests as well with no sound though. Something to be aware of. And yeah, and the MD-10 in the sense that we do have this very nicely kind of integrated, where we can switch between the different modes. Depending on what we feel like flying, we'll just, I think, keep the normal one. And we'll move ourselves to the FMC in order to get everything set up appropriately. It was a while since I used this ISG gauge, so let's see if I remember what it can and what it cannot do. It's pretty versatile. So there we go, 101. Oh, sorry, we don't have any number. We do have the runway though, so we can put that in. Do we have init refs? We do have init refs. We're gonna fly at a really low altitude today. 15,000 feet, since it's such a short flight, right? And then fuel, we need to add this, and the only way you can do this is by adding it yourself, basically. So I think we only need 35,000 fuel. I'm just gonna check. I'm not too used to how the system is with these one, but I'm gonna guess that it's the left fuels that are left and right that are used at the end. So these two. So let's try to go low on them and then on all the other ones, and then we can in the end check. Let's see, we can go a bit lower, I think. A bit higher maybe. Let's see, now 35. We should be a bit higher, like that. And then in gross weight, we should be around 360. So we can decline or decrease this a bit. Maybe even more so. It's not really like exact, right? It's not that advanced, even though it does help, of course, to get it right. Let me see, estimate zero fuel 327. Okay, it should be quite a bit lower actually, I think. So that's 50, 30, 40, 57 or 58, 63. Could it be that much? Ah, that makes no sense. Would it be? Well, let's keep it like this. This will be good enough. I think I'll remember this somewhat. Didn't like that one. Let me see. Maybe it is the center one. Okay, so maybe it's the center one that we need to keep. Let me see what happens if I do 0 on those and then I add to the center one. 55. That seems to work. Quite an interesting DC-10 fuel system. Because now we don't need to use the auxiliary tank, right? Maybe the best way to actually double check this is by finding the DC-10 manual, because Just Flight has one of those really old ones, which is pretty nice. Let's see here, fuel. Sometimes some of these is just a more simplified add-on. So yeah, let's see if we have fuel dump. Well, let's just try with this. This doesn't say too much. Hopefully it will work. If it doesn't, we'll find out the hard way. But that should be enough, or almost enough. Let's add a tiny bit more actually in fuel, just so we don't so we have some leeway, right, in case we need to do a go around or similar. Okay, so in terms of adding the numbers, we get this automatically, so that's pretty good. 307 is pretty low though in zero fuel weight terms. I don't see how it aligns. So I'm gonna write something different, see if it does accept that. What if I do this? Well, that's maybe more in line with what we have. In terms of our reserves, 7, cruising wind 261 at 22. And I think, let me check the dew points. 60, and can we change those? Yeah, we can. Very good, very good. Let's see here, nothing here, and then it's takeoff, right? And I think I'm actually not sure. Can we even set these values? No, that we can't. And I guess the takeoff values themselves didn't really have a way to calculate those, right? But let's while we wait actually just start the boarding process so we don't forget to do that. So we are flying to VGSY, flight number 101. We're not flying high, 15,000. It's gonna be a very short flight. Let's just add the info we have. We're gonna, let's just do like 50 passengers. I guess technically these would have in-flight entertainment system. I don't have any Pack X boarding music, so we'll just do some generic one. But I do have the safety for Biman actually. I was able to find that. So yeah, a bit of an odd sound, but will do. We can also start the boarding process from GSX. We'll do 50 packs. And let's not do any crew, because they would be on. We can see these moving now. And right next to us we have the 787, the Dreamliner. So that's a pretty cool contrast, right? Our oldie with the new entrance, and it's not even that new anymore, right? It's over 10 years old. I do think I do prefer the older ones a bit, just a tad bit more. But they are very nice, 787, and of course the 737 there in the background. I think we have a couple more down here. So yeah, now we have the boarding underway. Let's see how many passengers we are gonna put on. In terms of, let me see, V-speed calculator, DC-10. Let me just check if I have anything saved. Sometimes, you know, I find these things and then I save them in order to use them at some point, and then I never end up using them. So doesn't seem to be. Do we have like the basic? Let me actually check. We have the waypoint stuff. So we can add, so you can see waypoints. This is the FIS controller. We don't need to mess with that. What I wanna see is, don't think we have any way to calculate actually the. Oh well. Okay, we'll close that. I'm gonna guess it's relatively high because the landing speeds are usually quite high. So I'm gonna guess like 155, 158, 162. Let's just do that. This is just a guess, right? We don't have any flap takeoff select, so we'll just do 15. That seems reasonable. In terms of route, we can start filling that in. We'll take off from runway 14, and it's going to be a direct actually. So let's have a look. We need to of course be aware that it might give us a SID and a star, so let's keep that in mind. We'll add what we can, and then we'll try to be flexible.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to welcome you aboard our flight. When you find your seat, please be sure
Must
to
be
place
that
your
one,
larger
right?
carry-on items in the overhead
Yeah.
bins and smaller items underneath the
And we're
seat
coming in
beside you.
for
When you're in the
ILS
front
on the
row,
11.
please place all of your items in the overhead
And
bin.
let's check if we're
If
doing
you
any
have any trouble
transition
finding
by
your
opening
carry-on items, please let a flight attendant know
pilot
and
to
we will be happy
ADC.
to assist you. After
And
you
here
place
you
your
can
carry-on
see
items in
our
the overhead bin and it is
route.
full,
So
make sure to
very
tip
short
as a
route
courtesy
down
to
here in
other
Bangladesh.
passengers. Also be sure that the aisle is clear
And
and sit down
Calcutta is
so that way
somewhere
other
here.
passengers can get by you.
And I've been down here
If you're
in the
seated in an
Andamans
emergency exit row, please
as
review
well.
the exit seating responsibilities in the
So
safety chart
let's
provided
see.
for you.
Activate
Please make sure that you are able
approach.
and willing to perform these actions. If you're not, please let a flight attendant know so that way you can be
Or
released.
actually, what we
You
should
are
have
free to
done
use your
is
portable electronic devices during the
check
boarding
the
process.
approaches.
We ask that larger electronic
We're not
devices be
doing that
stored once
one,
you
we're
depart.
doing 11.
Thank you and welcome aboard.
We're doing the ILS one. So if we're doing the SIT 1, or is it 2? What's the difference? One is a bit of a larger one, maybe SIT 1 is better. Let me see if I select that, what does that mean in practice for how we will. So we're but that doesn't seem unreasonable. We're coming in and then we'll go out again. That should be fine. Let's validate and check that we have the right cruising settings. We do. So hopefully we should. Yeah, I'm still a bit interested in seeing how this is gonna work with the fuel that we have. I do feel that usually the game will have a higher consumption, so I'm gonna add just a tad bit more. Okay, we can do the SIT 1. And we can activate that. Now let's just double check. We'll still use the same here. The zero fuel one is fine, I think. We still have the takeoff, yeah. So we can execute that. And let's see if we get any change, right? Hopefully we don't. We can also check if this aligns. So we have Latim, Nikli Syd. And then we have TR276, which I'm actually not sure where that one is in. So we can have a look at the flight plan. Let's do steps. Yeah, I'm not sure that we're getting the right one. We want to go to SIT. What's the waypoint called though? That's like a DME. It's a very weird waypoint. Let me see if we might
We're
get.
ready to go when you are.
My fear is we're not gonna get any inputs. Let me see what's the approach actually. God damn it. Okay, so we need to find this airport on on the Bangladesh sites where they are uploaded. And I was able to find it, so I'm gonna save that. They actually had all of them. I'm surprised they don't have it uploaded on ChartFox, because they seem to be quite easy to get down or get downloaded. Okay, they want us to close this exits, etc. Do we have VOR? Do we have the ILS one? VR ILS. So what's that? That's doing the SIT, and then we could just, I guess, go out and then turn in, right? So VR is the SIT, then 276 on an outbound heading, and then to turn into a 114. for C and D. Yeah, okay, so that's probably why we don't have. But that should be fine. We can do that, right? We can do that. Hopefully. It'll be a bit of a practice trial. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna start closing the doors so we can see them all getting closed. Oh, now one of these 737s have. Oh no, it's still there. Just hidden. But look at that. We have one of the 777s coming in. That's a beauty. And this must be the 300, right? The ER. Oh yeah, because when it stopped, the music stopped. Or not the music, but the sound. Okay, one thing we should have put on is the nav lights. And that's there. Can put those on. Okay, we have some other buttons here we need to press. But let's do it step by step. I'm pretty happy with this, but let's see if we need to fly the nav. The TCAS is on. And let's see, there was some other button, right? You need to press to get everything started. We can get the flight directors on. I am gonna bring up the checklist just because we have that. It might be good to double check. We wanna do before pushback and start, seatbelt signs, etc. We can put those on. We can ask the same here. Guess we can put the beacon on. Oh, sorry, this is the forum lights. That one should be on. The beacon lights can be on. Let's see if we see the red lights here at the bottom. Nothing. Mode red, right, red. I'll just keep it mode red. Let's get started with the pump. So we need to put the fuel pump on, right, if I'm not mistaken. And then we can start the APU. Let me just check that I didn't forget anything else. So now we're getting the APU on. So you can see it increasing here. Let's close that so we don't have all these errors showing. Okay, so hopefully soon we'll have the APU up and about, ready to provide power for us. And let's just wait and see. I think we need to switch this one to the standby one as well, but let's see. Okay, we have the APU gen available. And the way to do this, let me now see. These should be for the engine once we have those started. That one, right? We need to put it on run. That's the main one. So there we go. Now we have that on. Do we still not have any? Where's the avionics master? It must be up here, right? So let's just arm the. Oh wait, we can wait with that one. We can arm the emergency light. We should. Here we go. The avionics buses and the de-ice ones. We can put those on. Now we should have all the avionics up and about. We can keep those on norm. The packs can be off for the start, same with the trim air. We can open the APU isolation valve. And let's see, pneumatic supplies, I think you want to keep these on low, or maybe auto. Hydraulic pumps, let's see, before start, off auto. Let's keep them off then, I think that's the easier setting. We can put the tank pumps on, it says aft only actually. We will just start them, I don't think it's tied into that in any way. And yeah, let's wait with putting these extra things, even though it's probably pretty warm down here. Let me have a look actually how warm it is. 27 degrees, not bad. And actually we can already take the information here for 1008 in terms of the altimeter. I'm talking about that, let's go to settings, let's change to US metric but feet, and then let's connect with pilot to ADC as well. So we have that rolling as we want to have it. Let's also try to remember how to get the LNAV working, so I always seem to forget it with this one. It's a bit hard sometimes. Okay.
Temperature 27, dew point
27, yeah.
QNH is 1008. Arriving and departing runway 14.
14. Which is the runway, pretty close. We're kind of in the middle. Okay, let's find actually the right frequency now. I'm not sure actually which one it is. I think it could be, let's see, we're changing the frequency now to the control frequency, so let's see. Bangladesh 4003 heavy, ready to copy IFR clearance.
Bangladesh
Okay, we want to copy the contact ground.
On 121.8 for IFR
And let's see if he
clearance.
changes his our dear pilot, our co-pilot. Okay, wait, there we go. Bangladesh 4003 heavy, ready to copy IFR clearance. Yeah, we got so let's follow the departure. Which one was it? Nikla 1A. And that's basically the same we're already on. It will make, let me see, load SID.
Climb via the Nick 1 Alpha departure, then as filed. Climb to flight level 060 via the departure. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Dhaka approach on 121.3. Squawk 5206.
Bangladesh 4003 heavy rear back.
Okay, let's see, Nikli, yeah. So that's basically the same as what we're flying.
is 1008 Bangladesh 4003 heavy.
Interesting though that we didn't get that immediately from, so Nikla 1A. Let me have a look at the route so we don't, yeah, 'cause now we're basically flying the same. Okay, so we can add those, but I do want to delete, so we don't want to fly back, right? So that's what we can do. And there we go. Okay, perfect. We should be aligned now. Well, let me have a look. Yeah, it looks good. Wondering if I need to redo it with piloted see, but I think we should be fine. Squawk wise, what were we at? 5206. So 5206. 5206. Very good, very good. I can close that. And let's actually get this jetway undocked. And then we can prepare for pushback and departure. Bangladesh 4003 heavy, ready for pushback.
Bangladesh 4003 heavy pushback approved.
Pushback approved.
Pushback approved Bangladesh 4003 heavy.
I do really wanna, I guess we wanna do N1 value, right, for the takeoff. That's a high value, that's a really high value to have for the N1. I'm not really sure these are working or are fixed in any way. Now let's see, we don't want to keep the auto throttles on. Yeah, weird. I moved the auto throttles in the speed brake mode for some reason. Okay, we got pushback approved. We want to be pushed so we have nose facing left from our current angle. Let's put the yaw dampeners on. We have these on.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
The pedo, I guess technically we could wait, but let's put them on so we don't miss that. We should also go to continuous. I remember that this one had some problems starting otherwise. Pedo we can put on. Let me just change my viewpoint here quickly just to check what do we have. APU isolation valve open, that's fine, right? Avionic flow override. I think that should be fine to put on already, at least.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Galley power as required. I'm just checking quickly these information that we have. I think we're looking kind of okay-ish now. Let's see once we try to start this plane if it will work or not. I guess technically we could trim it already. I'm gonna trim it up kind of in the middle of the screen since we don't really know what value we wanna have. And yeah, that should be good. Very interesting though, is it really blocking this one window here? So we have one and then, that's very interesting. Okay, nose left, tail right.
Release parking brakes, please.
Okay, let's release parking brakes.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
We'll do a continuous A, that should work. We got started wheel clearance. And let's see if they start pushing us. That they are. And I think the start procedure is at 231. Let's try. The engines are spooling up, that's great to see. We want to get to above 15. I'll put the fuel lever up. We do have one other paver modification, that's the sound pack for this airplane, so it has much better sounds. I'm not sure which one it is, TSS maybe?
Please note the cabin door is now closed. We ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down and stowed.
Not sure if these could have different engines, the DC-10s actually. I hope it's for the correct version in that case.
Dispatch must be in the full upright and locked position for departure.
Yeah,
Cabin
there we go.
doors for departure.
We have that going. Can we see the fuel here as well, or do we have to?
Please direct your attention to the screen for an important
I
safety
guess we have to look back there.
Thank you for flying with us.
Okay, let's do the third one. can see the engines starting. I'll do the fuel lever. Actually, in terms of clearance, we got flight clearance to 6,000. So let's add that. Yeah, we have the engine running. They are very pretty actually, these engines. I don't know why. I kind of like them. They're not too humongous, which can also of course look pretty cool. Okay, engine 1. I guess proportionate is the word I'm looking for. Does the panel lights work during the day? Probably not. Okay, parking brake. We're above 15. We want to go to flaps 15 as well. Okay, let's see. We're getting the... We can't really hear the safety video. I probably put it a bit too low. Or maybe you can hear it a bit in the background. The engine sounds are pretty loud. Windshield heat actually, is that something we want to put on? Likely, right? But I guess we have the window DI, so that should suffice. So that should be good. We can confirm a good engine start.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect. And locking gear.
And then let's actually, because now we should have our engines started. So let's do the generators. Temperature high. Do we want to keep the auxiliary pumps? Do we have any info on those?
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Let me see. I think that should be fine. Here we still have some the APU isolation. I think we can shut that and go to PAX Auto. We can put these to auto. So we get all of this working. Guess we can put some heat. Maybe want to keep a bit at least. Gets low. I guess this depends on what you have have there in the cargos, right? Left forward cabin door. Actually, that's some error on my behalf. We should have used the other cabin. If you open this one, it will always have that error. Air condition trim, air pressure high. So we put the trim air on. We can shut those. The APU generator and go to off. I think that should be fine. And now we can select these, check that the voltage is correct. Guess we can arm those. These are still, temperature is pretty high, but yeah, not sure how we get those temperatures down, but maybe it should be fine at the end of the day.
We're ready for departure.
Okay, we should probably not change the barometric pressure. Let me have a look quickly at what it says. If I now manage to tweak that 1008, that's good enough. Bangladesh 4003 heavy, ready to taxi. Okay, let's see if we get the taxi clearance. Yeah, we did. 1 and 2 and 3 valves open.
Runway 14, taxi via taxiway Alpha. Hold short runway
Pump
14,
valves
Bangladesh
open.
4003
Which one is that?
heavy.
I guess we can keep those armed. Hopefully it should be fine. Or wait, let me see if we keep them unarmed. Maybe that's how they disappear. Let's have a look at that. Or did they want us to keep them? Okay, that's how we got rid of it. Runway turn of lights. Auto brake should be armed, right? Parking brake on, auto spoilers. Should that... Actually, let's see. I never understand the bugginess with the speed brake. There we go, that should be fine. Okay, I guess we can put the anti-ice on. Passenger door open. Yeah, we can't really do anything about that because it's not really open, but for some reason it stays there. Parking brake off. Runway turn of lights. They should be on. Do we have any taxi light? I guess technically, I guess the nose lights can function as that. Do we have any taxi on idle thrust? Doesn't look like it, so let's start giving this some thrust. Let's see if we can tweak this setting. Doesn't look like it, unfortunately. For better or worse. Okay, now I think we're on the right setting. We just need to continue taxiing. Or actually we should go to flap 15. Let me move to a better viewpoint. We'll brake a bit. Yeah, we look kind of tiny compared to the 777 actually. Okay, let's see, the nose wheel is working, so that's good. We should do that check. So let's see, elevators, ailerons are working, rudder is working, it seems at least. Left is clear, right is clear. We could almost already start thinking about our approach, because this will be such a short flight, but let's take this step by step. One thing we can try to let's put that to INS, I think that's what you need. Now I can't see these, so that's a tad bit annoying, and I do wonder what's the cause of that. Hopefully we should be fine, because I can still see what we are getting in terms of on my my own autopilot. So I hope this is just a bug. Could be because I started this plane and then I picked another one, and then so it could be that I kind of flunked it myself. But let's see once we get up in the air. Could just be that it's not showing once we're on the ground. Let's hope that's the case, but we'll know once we get up and see how this one is following the flight directors, etc. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. And look at all of these. What a travesty seeing these planes just be... That's I guess an A310. Yeah. Just dumped here. Almost better to just break them up, do something useful with their resources. Okay, and let's see, I'm also gonna select some speed here just so we have something prepared. 240 might be good enough. And let's see, we should soon get the handover if I'm not mistaken. Well, I do hope at least. Cool with the lights here.
Bangladesh
There we go.
4003 heavy contact Dhaka Tower on 118.3.
Tower on 118.3 Bangladesh 4003 heavy.
Let's see, these are on, that's good. Bangladesh 4003 heavy, ready for takeoff. Bangladesh 4003 heavy, ready for takeoff.
Bangladesh 4003 heavy engine start approved.
No,
Engine
come
start
on.
approved Bangladesh 4003 heavy.
Let's see if I ask call sign.
Tower Bangladesh 4003 heavy ready for departure.
Bangladesh 4003 heavy winds are 191 at 8 knots. Runway 14 cleared for
Yeah,
takeoff.
and then turn
squawk
left.
5206 maintain runway heading until above 1,000 feet. Then turn left to heading 020 to intercept course.
Runway 14 cleared.
Are we
for
getting
takeoff,
anything
squawking
here?
5206 maintain runway heading until above 1,000
Now
feet,
I
then
think we
left to
have the
020
nav
Bangladesh 4003 heavy.
one working, so let's see. We're not gonna follow the flight director, we'll follow 1,000 feet. As you can see, it's very bad weather here. So yeah, let's see how it goes. What is our fuel situation? Well, hopefully we have sufficient. But yeah, so 1,000 feet above the ground, we're around 200. And then we'll turn left to 020, right? Yeah, should be good enough. Okay, let's see, we have flaps set, everything else trim. Okay, engine's pulling up nicely. There we go. Okay, N1 is selected, which I guess is almost 100. So we have a positive, or we have airspeed, 120 knots. Airspeed alive, that's the way to say it. 155, V1, rotate. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I was not really following the correct lingo there. Good, now we're seeing the flight directors. So we'll do positive rate of climb, gear coming up. Okay, we'll still climb. Let's see if we select IIS instead, so we have speed mode. I'll go flap 0.
Bangladesh 4003 heavy
Okay.
climb and maintain flight level 110.
Now we can turn to 120 now.
Climb and maintain flight level 110 approach on 121.3 Bangladesh 4003 heavy.
Okay, and we already got a higher clearance, 110.
Climbing to flight level 110.
Okay, we're turning, but let's do it slow and steadily. To 120. Oh. Feels like we're pushing it a bit with the bank angle. Okay. Okay, and let's see. So, oh, now we turned a bit too much. But hopefully this should be... There we go. Okay, so how do we get the LNAV working.
Bangladesh 4003
Okay,
Heavy.
150.
Maintain flight level 150. Contact DACA control on 125.7.
Okay, so it was just that we
Climb and
needed the
maintain flight level
autopilot.
150 control on 125.7 Bangladesh 4003 Heavy. Control Bangladesh 4003 Heavy climbing to flight level 150.
Bangladesh 4003 Heavy, good morning.
Let's see, I'm gonna trim down actually just a tiny bit. I really need to get this working because it's gonna be quite hard otherwise to... There we go, nav. Finally I got it. It only took a while. And now I guess the autopilot will be able to do this by itself. Let's add altitude. And now we can actually add a specific vertical speed as well. Okay, flaps are up. One thing we did forget was the landing lights. That was a bit of a rookie mistake. Runway turn-offs, we can put those off. Oh well, can't get everything right, can we? Let's climb a bit slower. Did we even have strobe lights on? Nope. Now we have the lights on. Yeah, talk about. That's why you follow a checklist. The funny part is I even have a checklist open right to my right, or right to the right of me. So yeah, really no sense. Let's get up a bit to the speed. We don't want to fly too fast, just considering we're flying low, and I'm not too certain about the fuel situation. I would rather avoid us having to refuel in the air. Let me have a look, 33,000, and we have about 110 nautical miles to go. We're still climbing, albeit slowly. We can do climb mode, right? No point. Or I guess technically if you do this you wouldn't do the speed, right? Then you would, yeah, so not really too logical to be using those two. But look at that, so we have overcast, and let's actually start with that because I totally forgot to do that. If we look at our winds, so it's coming a bit from the kind of northwest. And what's this? This is at flight level 100. This one might give us, so we'll have a bit of a tailwind actually on land. No, not on landing, but let's actually look if we have anything closer to ground. But we'll likely have a tailwind as well, even though they can fluctuate a bit, as we see here. But nothing too crazy. Let's have a look at the... And I'm gonna move it so you can see as well, and then I'll watch it on my other monitor. So destination weather 808 or 08005 knots. So okay, we'll have a bit of a tailwind with very minor, yeah, with very minor kind of strength.
Bangladesh 4003 Heavy.
Look at that.
Expect the ILS approach to runway 11 with the SYT-1 transition at
Can
Osmani International
we
Airport. Maintain flight level 150.
go to
Expect the ILS
standard?
approach to runway 11 with the SYT-1 transition. Maintain flight level 150.
Yeah, and we're getting the right
Bangladesh 4003
input, so that's good. In terms of the airport itself, what does it say? QNH 1005. Scattered at 1,500. Broken at 10,000. Oh, that's what it's becoming. Okay. So it's becoming 0905 knots. So let's see a bit in terms of the weather, how it's gonna look. We have some nice photo reel here. Looking pretty nice. First time flying actually in Bangladesh. And I'm not disappointed. We're flying very low though. But it is a beauty, this DC-10. Very nice actually. And talking about that, did they use the MD-11s? You would think if they had such a good time with the DC-10 that they, but nope, they did not. Let me see, have they had any accidents with the DC-10? They had one, the pilot was fired. Overrun of the runway.
Starting our flight service, we'll be serving complimentary food and snacks. Premium drinks are available for a small charge. Please note we only accept credit cards.
How much is it left? It's 14 minutes, so let's actually start briefing for the approach. Kind of ASAP. We're probably like D. So category D 260, and we can't use this one to select it. That's a bit annoying actually. You would think that we can do medium in terms of the landing. We can arm that. Oh, that's the spoiler's arm, right? This is the auto brake. That's interesting. Okay, small mistake on my behalf. In terms of getting the decision height, we don't have anywhere. Can you control it somehow else? No. Maybe if we change to the 2D panel view. No, nothing. This one maybe? Not that one either. Small bummer. Okay, and let's see, we'll soon be at our top of descent. We'll be a bit faster on Pilot TDC, I'll just show you compared to the sim, which is giving us 4 nautical miles, but Pilot TDC is giving us about 20. It's a pretty damn good aircraft with the PBR added. It's kind of timeless. Still the best DC-10 out there. Can you imagine that? When they built this airplane, someone would have told them that hey, there won't be a better DC-10 for, well, at least 15 plus years. I don't think they would have believed anyone, but yeah, here they are. I guess technically there is one for FS04 with the 2D panels and stuff, but in terms of having 3D virtual cockpit, this still takes the win. Okay, and let's have a look now. What's our fuel at? 31,000. I think that's pretty okay. According to our flight plan, we were supposed to be at Nickley, we're supposed to be at 24. Okay, we had a bit less fuel on board. Still though, interesting how it starts with 29.1. Was it envisioning a long taxi? Potentially, right? But okay, so we can't... Back to reality. So we can't do the proper... decision height or radio altimeter, so we'll instead do what we can with the VOR. So what do we know about the VOR? We know that that one is 11.6 and then .4, but I'm actually gonna double check that this is correct in the sim, because I had so many issues now, you know, with maybe there's not even a VOR, it's just a tuck-on or, you know, something like that. So we're just gonna be very careful here. 11.64, correct. ILS 11.5, yeah. Okay, good. So we have that confirmed.
11 Bangladesh 400.
3,000 feet, so let's put that into the system. We're gonna start descending already, and I'm already gonna start slowing the plane down. And we are gonna do the vertical descent now. We'll do 2,000 feet per minute. Let's have a look on the outside. Still looks pretty good. Some clouds here, but it's hard to kind of fix those. So I'll always cut some slack, specifically since how often do you fly specifically here, and if you're high above you won't even notice that there's clouds on the photoreal. But yeah, let's get this one right then. So 1164 should be the nav. 1164, and the course we should be taking away from it is 276. And I'm also gonna put the heading indicator on that. Okay, we are descending now. We should be descending quickly enough, hopefully. Did we get any altimeter? QNH at 1011. Okay, that's interesting. So we have a different QNH. 109 actually, according to this one. The transition altitude is at 4,000 feet, or 6,000 actually. Wait, precision level, flight level 6060, transition altitude 4,000 feet. Not sure how to interpret that. But oh well, let's see. I guess the landing light should have been off. Passenger door, auto spoiler arm, that's fine. We can do the landing lights on. At least try to do it correct. This way around. They are serving snacks and drinks. Hopefully they're soon done so we can get them seated. We have kept the passenger seatbelt signs on though for most of this journey.
We have begun our final descent to your destination.
We're gonna need to slow down a bit.
Select any craft one final time. Please ensure that tables are stowed and seats are in a full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items.
Looking at the thumbnail, I think I like the one at the ground a bit more. It's a very nice airport, that one. Definitely gonna do more flights from that. Let's see, so we're gonna be pinpointing out. If we just solely go to heading mode, once we cross the, what was it, seat, that should be good enough. At least, hopefully. Okay, still descending, still looking pretty good. We should though, if we wanna do this correctly, we need to go really slow. Probably probably quite a bit slower than maybe 190 should be fine. If we do it slats or something, that could work. Let's try putting this correctly. Still descending, we should soon have the airport in sight. I really don't know how this one will look, so hopefully I didn't miss anything. Or that it's a badly implemented freeware. That's always a risk. 11.5 is the other one, so I'm just wondering if we can we switch between these? Now we have oh wait, that's the secondary one. There we go, we can switch between the navs. So 110, 111.5 is the ILS one. 11.64 is the VR one. 114 is the course. Yeah, that looks not the best, right? VGSY and then TR276 we want to turn down. Talking about that, we can have a look at the FIs because it will give us waypoints. But nothing that we can see on this one, so that's a bit worrisome. Okay, we're soon at the altitude we want to be at, which is 3,000 feet. And we actually want to go down to 2,000 after we reach it. We want to start descending to 2,000 feet. Okay, let's see. We are now slowing down. That's good news. We can put the runway turn-off lights on. We know that that one is on. Cabin pressure. I guess we have it on auto mode, so that's fine. Okay, and let's see, it wants to increase thrust now. I guess to try to maintain since we're no longer descending. Okay, let's put the slats in. Have a look at those coming down. Let's have a look at the fuel. Still looking good. Let's tune in.
Bangladesh 4003 Heavy, you are 10 nautical miles southwest of the airport. QNH is 1011 cleared direct SYT, then cleared for the ILS approach to runway 11 with the SYT-1 transition.
Let's slow
at
down
Asmani
to
International Airport.
190 knots.
QNH is 1011 cleared direct SYT, then cleared for the ILS approach to runway 11 with the SYT-1 transition at Asmani International Airport, Bangladesh 4003 Heavy.
Technically the easiest part would be to fly the heading and then change to the VR mode. Let's see if we can do that instead. We have to do it like that. How do I get rid of all of these? I just want to fly heading. So if we wanna, I guess we can do LNAV then. God damn it, they're not making it easy. We don't want to do approach. Okay, let's see, this will work. I think we're on heading mode now. We seem to be able to see the... So that's good. Let's try to change our mode so we can see the VR as we're coming to it. I'll slow down a tad bit more and we're gonna start turning. In order to try and capture. I think it will be tight whatever way you do this, but hopefully we're able to do it. Yeah, look at that. Already missed that. So let's go to VR mode. We're going very slow considering we are on speed mode. Can we see the airport here somewhere? No, no luck thus far. Guess because we passed it a bit. The airport should be right around there, actually. Okay, so not really perfect, right? You can see the airport seems to be a bit longer nowadays, probably an extension. And actually, let's try to get this one too, so we turn a bit. Because the problem is we're gonna have the same issue again, because it's gonna do ping pong now. But hate when that happens with the VRs. But okay, not the worst, not the best either. Technically we're flying sort of good enough. And we're about to get back on the VR. Let's follow this and then we start turning. We want to get down to 2000 feet. So we want to be descending. Yeah, come on. We can probably go a bit lower. I guess flaps 15 might not be wrong. Okay, let's see. Let's see. How is it doing now? Are we following 274 as our course? We are, but it's going a bit of ping-ponging with this plane, so it's not really doing it as it should. Okay, let's be prepared to soon start turning in towards the ILS, and then we'll switch to the ILS one. We could actually start thinking of doing that already. We can go to heading mode instead. We'll switch so that everything is ready for the final approach. 1-1. Oh no, what happened? God damn it. I seem to have lost my Logitech yokes. Not the end of the world, but I guess it crashed. Potentially SimConnect crashed. No, SimConnect seems to be working. Okay, 114. Okay, let's see. We got the right. That's annoying. But we're at 2000 feet, so that's good enough. Let's start the turn. We do want to keep, yeah, but maybe not just yet. Can we get the turn now? Let's see. Maybe something like this. Maybe a bit more. This should maybe do the trick. Maybe a bit of a bigger one so we can actually get on the approach. And let's change the mode, because this should give us the glide slope pretty nicely. And actually talking about that, did we even check what our landing? Potentially we can't even put that info in, so might not be the end of the world. Okay, course should be 114. That's looking pretty good. We can start lowering gear. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's very close now to.
Bangladesh 4003 Heavy QNH is 1011
There we
at
go.
Asmani
Approach.
International Airport contact Silhet Tower on 122.9.
Let's add a bit more
QNH
of
is
flaps.
1011 tower on 122.9er Bangladesh 4003 heavy.
We can go to manual thrust.
Tower Bangladesh 4003
Yeah, we have
heavy
that
inbound
set.
for ILS approach runway 11.
We can see the
Bangladesh
runway in front.
4003 Heavy, good morning. Continue
We're aligning on the
ILS to
VR.
runway 11 call when established on final.
Let's see, we can
Continue ILS runway
slow
11
down a
call
bit
when
more.
established
Let's
on
just
final
make sure we get
Bangladesh
on the. I just want to see if this one follows the glide slope. Let's add flaps 40. Let's just do a flaps full. Not sure how common it was to do flaps full, but we'll know soon enough. Okay, the glide slope is coming down. You can see it here. Here we can see the localizer. And we can see it here as well. It's looking pretty good. Pretty solid. I'm gonna go flaps full and throttle down a bit. I think the landing rate of the speed of this is quite high, around 155. It's higher than normal planes, but lower than the MD-11. So let's shut down that. Let's go manual. They're a bit high, it feels. I'm gonna pull back a bit on the yoke. We do have to descend a bit faster because we're a bit high and also a bit fast, but that of course makes it harder to decrease speed. Still looking okay. We're a bit to the right of the localizer. A bit of a tailwind, so we hopefully shouldn't need to use rudder too much, but let's see. Let's make sure that we land on the actual runway and not the fodder wheel, even though technically I guess that would be correct. So let's see. Okay, I'm gonna add a bit more thrust. We're a bit below the glide. Don't want to go below 155. We're almost on the edge now.
Bangladesh 4003 heavy winds are 340 at 6 knots.
Did we get landing
Clear
clearance?
to land
Yeah,
runway
perfect.
11.
Clearance to land, runway 11.
Bangladesh 4003 heavy.
Okay, we're quite nicely now on the glide. Gonna slow down just a teensy bit. Actually a bit high. The puppies are looking pretty good though, so it might be fine that we're a bit high, but we really need to get down. Okay, so the fodder reel, it could also be that it's just badly aligned, right? Minimums, continue. 100. Let's retard the thrust levels, yes. Let's add full thrust reversers. Yeah, looking good, looking good. Pretty smooth landing, I would say. One of my better ones. Not the largest landing zone though. Okay. And now we can just kind of roll down. Technically what we should be doing is starting the APU already. I guess we could have also kept it on, so it's a short flight anyway. Oh. Let's turn on the next one, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our
Hey, and at least there we seem to have some jetways, so might not have been the worst end of things.
Do not use your mobile devices.
Okay, let's turn here.
Until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead chute. Items may have safety during your flight. Thank you for flying with us.
Morning Vietnam 300 Tower, runway 34 left, continue approach, your number 2, wind 36 left 7.
But yeah, actually pretty nice. This plane flew pretty well. when I figure out the things, like getting
Bangladesh
these ones showing up,
4003
it's
heavy, there is no ground control.
it worked
this
pretty well.
airport.
I guess
Let
technically
us
I
know
should
if
have
you need taxi instructions.
switched these ones as well, but oh well. It worked anyway, right? So not the end of the world. And here I guess is the heavy landing for the Osman International. But as you can see, it's not the best airport. I need to check if there's a paver version. So let's just taxi in here. This must be some early FSX freeware. Because it's very basic, but better than default. I'll give it that. Ah, god damn it! Maybe we can thrust reverse our way. Will it work? Yes. Look at that. This is the old school way of doing things. Who needs to be pushed back when you can just trust your way out of things? Good run, and we can shut our engines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, 1, 2, 3. We don't have 4 engines. But there we go. We made it. So in order to keep this somewhat short and concise, we've been flying now for 1.5 hours. I am gonna just make sure we get the landing rate from pilot to, sorry, not pilot, let's see, from pack X. There we go. And oh sorry, we need to deboarding menu and flight 285, maybe a bit higher than one would like, but it's okay. If we look at the replay, let's have a look. Seems like maybe some missing autogen, but still pretty good. I mean, this is freeware photo reel, right? So let's have a look. And what can we see? We can see the flaps down, that's always nice. Let's see if we see the thrust reverse and the spoilers deployment. I'm not sure though the spoilers did deploy. So let's see. A bit skeptical. So we're getting down, slowly and carefully. Reaching the runway. And let's have a look now. Ah, we flared, maybe not. Yeah, there we go. Ah, look at that. We landed within reason. And there we can see the thrusters. Ah, we can see the speed brakes deploy. So that's actually really nice. And even here, the thrust reverse on the third one. For some reason, I didn't think they would deploy one also in the middle, but I guess it makes sense to have for all three. But yeah, pretty good approach and landing actually. Considering, I'm not sure I followed it precisely to point, maybe I turned a bit early. But yeah, felt pretty good still. A very nice approach to Sylhet in Bangladesh, to the, or Osman International, that's maybe easier to pronounce correctly. But yeah, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Otherwise, until next time, thank you for watching. Bye bye.